Unsolicited Pentagon Pizza, Deanne in the house, Maya in the house, Poetic Justice. What's up, everybody? Very glad to see that I have backup today, you know, because I'll tell you what, I don't do solo live streams on my channel for a reason, because I don't like doing it at all. But necessity is necessity, so here I am. What I got for you today, I don't know. I really don't know. We'll see what we got. Killer Instinct 2 from the arcade music. Absolutely incredible. I love that you can use video game music, and you don't have to worry about it. That's a really cool thing. Check IG. I can't do that, Deanne. I'm doing a stream, and you know I don't have an IG. She has it on her phone. I don't have it on mine. I can't check IG, Deanne. The first music you heard there was from the Sega Genesis game Flashback, and that's one of my favorite games of all time. What's up, Sarah Quill Submission? Hope all is well, Jason. I'm very worried for you after the last fight. God bless. Whatever. I'm a demon all the time. I'm always a horrible fucking person, so whatever. Did you hear the Iranian leader declared a fatwa on Trump? What, Maya? You know, Ted Cruz said to Tucker Carlson that the Iranian regime was trying to take Trump out. Wow, that's pretty interesting. That sounds like a confirmation. Tell her when you're done. Okay, got you, Deanne. Yeah, I've heard, Diane, about the new Street Fighter movie. Shanny told me about that, and I'm very excited about that because I really... Did you guys see the new Mortal Kombat movie? Because it was very good. I'm whatever, Stevie. I'm like... Apparently my Triumph chick account is just blocked from this channel, literally no reason. I don't know, Bench. I don't know. It seems like you're being controlled and manipulated. I know you're just... Yeah, well, see, like, no, you're going to take my side now. You know, when it happened, I was horrible demon and got gaslit for an hour for nothing. And now I'm going to be the good guy because I'm in front of you. No, I'm not playing these games. It was just a stupid fight for no reason, really. And I'm not going to engage that. That is, but thank you, Maya. I'm not going to see the chat right now. You guys have fun in chat. Trump, Iran, fatwa. Are you serious? The enemy of God. Oh my God, look at this, guys. Crosshairs over Trump and Netanyahu. This is as serious as it fucking gets. U.S.-Iran tensions escalate. Let's try this times India. Oh my God, guys. The Ayatollah has issued an official fatwa against Trump. And Netanyahu too, I guess. Haram to help the U.S. and Israel. Iranian cleric warns Muslims. Iranian cleric issued a fatwa against Trump, U.S. President Donald Trump, and Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu. This is not bullshit, and this is not serious. Iran's Mehr news agency reported on the kill. I can't say that. You can read what's on the screen. I can't say that. Things have just gotten super hot. The fatwa was issued after Trump and Netanyahu threatened to unalive Iran's supreme leader. Oh, you know, I haven't really been paying attention to the public statements. So has he brilliantly been saying we're going to take you out and stuff, and Netanyahu's been saying that shit? Well, What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Grand Ayatollah Makarem Shirazi declared Trump and Netanyahu a quote-unquote enemy of God. Meher News. Wow. Fatwa was issued after followers asked Shirazi about duties of Muslims in response to such threats. Shirazi warned Muslim nations against working with U.S. and Israel as haram, forbidden. They're going to listen to him as well, because he is a Ayatollah. He's one of the fatwa against Trump and Bibi. Quote, these are all quotes from it. Any person or regime that threatens the leader of Marja, may God forbid, is considered an enemy of God. Any cooperation or support for that enemy by Muslims or Islamic states is haram or forbidden. It is necessary for all Muslims around the world to make these enemies regret their words and mistakes. If a Muslim who abides by his Muslim duties suffer hardship or loss in their campaign, they will be rewarded a fighter in the way of God, God willing. May God protect the Islamic community from the sinister acts of the enemies and hasten the reappearance of the Imam Zaman. Grand Ayatollah Makarem Shirazi. Source, Meher News Agency. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. Is that it for this one pretty much? No, there's probably more. This came after Trump hinted at Khamenei's assassination, calling him an easy target. Oh, the cat's jumping on my table, of course, because nobody's paying attention to the cats. Trump's statement drew sharp reaction from Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas, whatever his last name is. Aragahi advised Trump to show respect towards Khamenei if he genuinely seeks a deal with Iran. He doesn't. He doesn't. These neocon son of a bitches have once again got the reins of power, and Trump is willing to do their bidding. He now is feeling like, yeah, I think I want to be the wartime president. Fuck it. During the war, Benjamin Netanyahu did not rule out Khamenei's killing. I saw it, I said it. Well, sorry, that's once. Khamenei's unaliving to the end of the conflict. You think these people are just going to lay down? You have Israel preemptively strike Iran, and then disgusting tyrant piece of shit orange man in the White House goes, yeah, I'm going to bomb them too. Just to impress the world, here we are, here's my bombs, take them. Okay, you think these people aren't going to have a response to the protection of their people from being bombed for no fucking reason other than the military-industrial complex meat grinder needs more fucking money? That's that one. Let's look a little more into this. Oh, you got something else here. Mirror now. What is this? Is there a speech?
But if we got the rates down, we would be a rocket ship. So I think that'll be it. And I just want to thank everybody. This is a really big day. We've had a big week.
My computer's
we've had a big
crashing
week.
out.
We've had a lot of victories this week. NATO was a tremendous victory. The war was a tremendous. Look, we were talking about this for 30 years about Iran being nuclear, and all I said is it will not be nuclear, and it's not going to be nuclear. And You know, I want to give credit to a lot of people, and most importantly to our great military. Boy, they put out that fire.
Oh, our great
Once that happened,
military?
once
That same great military that you called them all suckers and losers? Oh, that didn't happen. Yeah, I think it did. This guy faked rickets. And because he had a privileged family during Vietnam, he could get away with that. I got bad legs, folks. I can't go to the military. Well, fine. But now you're going to act like this hawk, this military man, when you're president. I'm going to be your wartime, the best way. I'm going to be the best wartime president you've ever seen. Yeah, you threaten the Ayatollah, you put the entire world at risk of global nuclear conflagration from other Arab nations. They're a community. Do you get that, Donnie? Donnie, do you understand that Muslims are they're an actual community and they watch each other's backs? Yeah, there's the Sunni and Shia divide, but when it comes to America and Israel, they are in one accord saying, fuck you. 100%. You want to see a beast rise from the ocean? You're getting it right now.
Legal immigrants into our country, and in some cases, very, very bad ones. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. On your tax bill, if I could for a moment, senators are racing to rewrite parts of it right now after the Senate parliamentarian ruled that sections of it were outside of the process that they're using to get this through. Do you think that senators should
I have to go do something, guys. I'll be right back.
Parliamentarian, and what have you personally done in the last 48 hours to try and get Republican senators who are against the bill to a yes?
Well, look, it's a great bill. It's a massive tax cut. If it's not approved, your taxes will go up by 68%. Think of that, 68, a record, the highest in the history. The Democrats won't approve it only because politically it's so good for the Republicans. The Democrats aren't approving it. But think of what they're not approving. They're not approving border security. We've done a great job at the border, but we have to add some wall. We have to do various things. We have no money for that. We have no money for the border. We have no money for so many things. But if the Democrats, and it'll be interesting to see if we get any Democrat votes. We should. If I were a Democrat, I would absolutely, maybe Fetterman, because he seems to be the most sensible one lately. If I were a Democrat, I would vote for this bill all day long because it's tax cuts and so many other things that are common sense. They're basic things. I think they're doing fine. The parliamentarian's been a little difficult. And I would say that I disagree with the parliamentarian on some things, and on other ways he's been fine. But we'll have to see. It's a big issue. I will tell you this: if that bill doesn't
I guess
pass,
I got that.
The country will get a 68% tax.
I guess I got that wrong. Donnie had apparently bone spurs. Is that the same thing as not rickets? Bone spurs, whatever. Okay, the point of the matter is he's a privileged family during Vietnam, and he was able to just get out of it. Now, I look, if we're going to talk about Vietnam, was it a just war? Was it a war that kids should have died for? Absolutely not. It was another military-industrial complex. We need money. We need blood and metal, i.e. making machinery, making guns, making all that shit for war. Okay? That's the bottom line with Vietnam. So did I support the Vietnam War if I was living at that time? Hell no. I'd be burning my draft card. Absolutely. There was absolutely zero justification for that war other than the Gulf of Tonkin, which was a false flag terror event. Look it up. Gulf of Tonkin, false flag. So do I judge him for not being a part of it? No. But don't be a chicken hawk. And now it's going to come out, oh, he's this big tough guy, and he's going to be our wartime president. It makes me sick, man.
What seems, there's so much money coming in, and there must be some kind of an accounting mistake, because we have hundreds of billions of dollars more money than we thought. I said, do me a favor, go check call me back. You have to call me back. Check the tariff column. Calls me back 2 hours later, says, you're right. We took in $88 billion in tariffs. They have so much money coming in. But more important than the money coming in, we have companies coming in, factories coming in, auto plants being built, AI is being built here.
Oh, you got the AI he wants America to be the AI country. Okay, I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't really matter at this point. All the governments around the world want AI taking over government in some way. So guess what you're getting? You're getting fucking Skynet. When that fucking AI decides that this world is safer without humans, what do you think's going to happen? It will be a cleaner, more secure, more safe planet without mankind. Of course, because we're the entity that creates all the bloodshed and death. We have a world with just machines and animals, and it'd be a hell of a lot more peaceful planet. You wouldn't have this bullshit with egos. So would the AI be wrong? Not really.
Here instead of they're afraid that if this was taken off, well, we're going to guarantee it's never going to be taken off. And again, we're taking in think of this, hundreds of billions of dollars. And they were all confused because they've never seen this before. You know, it's always the other way. We don't have enough money. So much money is coming in at levels that nobody's ever seen. But most importantly, we have factories being built, car plants being built, companies moving to our country like never.
That's really great, Don. But when you put, say, 100% tariff on a Japanese car, i.e. Toyota, what do you think's going to happen? Lots of people like to buy their cheap Toyotas. Oh, yeah, let's put 100% tariff on it because it's a Japanese company. Now, you know, Toyota now famously has many plants in the United States of America. So you could consider them an American company in a way because there's a lot of production that takes place in the United States. But these tariffs on certain items are unwise. And it's going to negatively impact the economy as opposed to positively. And we've seen that. The markets have not liked it. Our GDP decreased in the latest report. Our gross domestic product went down. Okay, that's a sign of recession. And if it goes farther and the Federal Reserve keeps pulling their bullshit and hurting our currency more, we're going to go into a hyper-stagflation scenario where you're going to have to pay $100 for a loaf of bread. $50 for a loaf of bread. That's where we're going.
Before.
So if some deals are not done by your July 9th deadline, will some countries' tariffs go back up, or will they stay where they are?
Well, there are some countries that are used to ripping us off, to be honest with you. And I don't want to name them, but you sort of.
Trump's right about that. Companies do rip us off. Or countries. Countries, same thing. It's like we almost live in a global fascist state at this point. That New World Order, yeah, I think that's where they're going for. A global totalitarian fascist state. The corporations control the actual power. Banks and companies control the actual power. And you have some Hitlerian leader at the top of it. He loves that shit. Trump loves it.
Can name them. And they're so used to just, you know, taking it billions and billions of. Look, we had a trade deficit of more than $1 trillion. Think of a trade deficit. That's because nobody cared. We cared a lot when, you know.
Do you know how you even out the trade deficit? You make trade deals with countries. You don't put 400% tariffs on everything. That's not the best way to make money for the country, and it's actually costing the economy profits because it's going to tariffs. Not smart. Make trade deals. Hell yeah. Even out the trade deals that we got going on. Make the world buy American. That's how you even out the trade deficit.
Took in. It's a very nice question. And it's not a setup. I have no idea who you are, but I appreciate that question. All I can say is we're not here for that. I hope so. I hope they're doing the thing because that election was rigged and stolen, and we can't allow that to happen. You know, a lot of people tell me, sir, you just won the greatest election in the history.
Quit pausing the damn video. Go away. I'm doing a live show reacting to news type stuff. Just a nobody? Yeah, you're a nobody. Leave.
Of our country, you won at numbers that won all 7 swing states, won the popular vote, won everything. Sir, go on with your life. And the
Hey,
many people
Janice.
that say that, good people, friends of mine, then
Oh my God, Janice, you said, "Oh, daddy." Do you like Trump like that? Do you think Trump is daddy? He's making daddy shirts. Thank you, Maya. Yeah. This is like a reaction video. You want to call whatever it is. I'm reviewing a Trump speech right now. Or no, it's not a speech, it's a presser. It's a press thing. Yeah, this person's gone. I'm banning them. If you don't like commentary, why are you on a live streaming commentary / review / entertainment channel? Like, go away.
you have people that say that same thing, go on with your life, but you have to find out what happened because you can't let that happen again. Look at what this lunatic did. Look at what he did. He opened our borders to people that were murderers. 11,888.
Freddie McDonald, what's up? Von's new look? Well, if it is what I've seen, you know, the long gray, and he's got the beard, he's rocking the beard and the gray, long gray. He looks awesome. Yeah, he looks real cool. He's lucky he still has his hair, that he could grow it out like that and look cool, you know. Why does this geriatric want everyone to call him daddy? Maya, that is called small dick syndrome. We have a report of what he looks like, and it's not that great, you know. Furby ears? Yeah, you're right. These do look like Furby ears. I'm into that. I like them. She shaved all of it off. What'd she shave off? Wait. You mean he? You mean Von shaved all of his hair off? It's a toupee? Mukbang, please. You think it's a toupee? How about Pop Pop? Oh my God, Janice, that's hilarious. Pop Pop, that's some Diddy shit. Thank you. Hi, Princess. What's up? Thank you. I love these ears. They complete me completely. Furbies were the shit. They really were. Mine got me freaked out though. Von's hair, he got rid of everything. He shaved his head. Oh my God, he's going for Manson, I guess. Or it's hot as fuck, you know. I'm gonna tell you, on the 95-degree day that I had to walk twice in the day, I was like, holy shit, maybe I will shave this off, because it's no way. My hair is like, it's one of my favorite things about me. So it's like, in terms of my vanity, I want to have my hair. I like it, you know. All right, back to Trumpy.
To be exact, murderers in the world. To who knows what happens with a 68%. Think of it, 68% tax increase. That was given by the Democrats because they like high taxes. I don't know what happened. You know, all my life, I'd grow up and I'd watch politicians talking. I'd say, oh, that's fun. And they were always saying, we will cut your taxes. We will cut your tax. I never heard it. They say, we will raise your taxes.
Caitlyn is
And
a
they
lying piece
elect
of
people
shit.
like this guy in New York.
I want,
that
whoever this Caitlyn cunt is, you're gone. Forever. Nobody is selling Ozempic to any mods or anything, you fucking idiot. My wife takes it in front of me every day that she takes it, which is Monday, is her Ozempic day, so you're a liar. Teddy Ruxpin, oh my God, that's awesome. I still want to call you, what was your Tina Tampons? I like that name. But unsolicited Pentagon Pizza, okay. That's awesome. What kind of condition was it in? Not you, you're another Caitlyn. No, I just banned the one I was talking about, Caitlyn. Not you. Not you. It was Caitlyn with a C. Caitlyn T. Caitlyn with a C T. C Caitlyn, because she's a cunt, lying, saying that Ozempic's being sold. Yes, Ozempic's an injection. Oh my God, I get you, unsolicited Pentagon Pizza. You got to do what you got to do, you know. Ozzy mixtapes. Oh my God, I used to love putting an Ozzy mixtape in my Teddy Ruxpin. Aaron, you're amazing. That's awesome. I have to go.
So it's become amazing. I mean, it's the jobs that it produces. And I notice more and more you pay in Bitcoin. I mean, people are saying it takes a lot of pressure off the dollar. And it's a great thing for our country. So I don't care about investing. You know, I have I have kids and they invest in different things. They do believe in it. but I'm president, and what I did do there is build an industry that's very important. And you know, if we didn't have it, China would. Okay.
Sir, Mr. President.
Go ahead. With the glasses, gentlemen. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, are you going to cut funds in the sanctuary states, like for instance California, that keep supporting illegal immigration, and then these people work under
Yeah, we're
the
giving them a
table?
hard time.
And also, in a foreign policy
I
question.
mean, they don't have a governor in California. They have a man that wants to give away everything to people that nobody's seen before. If we didn't go into Los Angeles with the military, which did a fantastic job, but if we didn't go into Los Angeles bringing in the National Guard, I would have brought the military if it was necessary, because you have to. We have the right to. That was another thing upheld by the Supreme Court. But if we didn't go in with the National Guard and be strong and tough, you wouldn't maybe have Los Angeles. It would be like the rest of California, the rest of Los Angeles. They lost 25,000 houses in a fire. They should have lost none. You know, I sent the water down. I had to break into their water supply because they just refused to do it. They're crazy. There's something wrong with them. They have plenty of water. They don't have droughts or anything. They have we let it come down from the Pacific Northwest. They routed all the water out into the Pacific Ocean for environmental reasons, okay? And now you have 25,000 houses, none of which would have burned down if you had the water. They didn't have water. They didn't have water for the fire pumps. They didn't have water in the sprinkler systems that people put in. So the answer is we're going to work with governors. We're going to work with radical left Democrats and Democrats, and we're going to make it good for everybody. We'll have to stop the crime in those. In the case of the cities, I think I can say just about all cities with heavy crime are run by Democrats. Go ahead. Yeah, with the glasses.
I'm with you.
Go ahead, yes. Yeah, no, the man behind you, yeah, please.
President Trump, Anthony Mashak from Anthony, Lebanon. I want to ask you regarding the threats posed by Iran's allies and proxies operating in the U.S. They were threatening your life. So what do you say about that? And regarding the Lebanon, because Hezbollah is as well part of Iran's allies, is there any time frame in Lebanon regarding disarming Hezbollah in Lebanon?
Yeah, Lebanon is a great place with brilliant people. You know, it was known for the professors and doctors and had an incredible history. And hopefully we can bring it back again. I just appointed a friend of mine who's Lebanese, and I didn't know he was Lebanese. I've known him for 20 years, very, very successful man. And I just appointed him. And I said, why would you want that? He said, because I was born there, I was raised there, I love it. I love it so much. I said, you know, it's very dangerous going to Lebanon as ambassador. And he said,
All right.
That's what they say, but I don't care about danger.
Price is
I mean, this is a
averted.
guy that is just a very big business guy. He wants to give up his whole life
Price
to go to
is
Lebanon
averted.
because he believes in it so much. We're with Lebanon all the way. We'll try and straighten it out.
Your life as well. So what action?
Lebanon?
Threaten my life, yeah, they have threatened. I get that throbbing feeling every once in a while. Get that throbbing feeling, but you know what? That's okay. This is a dangerous business. What I do is a dangerous business. You know, I tell the story of the car companies and different people and different professions you have. Race car drivers, as an example. 1/10 of 1% die. Bull riders, 1/10 of 1%. That's not a lot, but it's people die. When you're president, it's about 5%. If somebody would have told me that, maybe I wouldn't have run. Okay? This is a very dangerous.
What is that rhetoric about? I want to hear more.
Dangerous profession. Yeah, please. By the way, so many questions. Should we keep this going, Pam? This is.
He loves this. Do you know how much he loves this? Hi, Bad Wolf. What's up? Nice to see you. Hi, 21. What's up? I can't believe this. He loves to be in front of a camera with power. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as The Apprentice. Like, I think he would love to have every single moment, like, live streamed of him in the Oval Office, of him, like, firing people. Nah, you didn't do what I wanted. You're fired. He would love that shit, you know? He's less orange today. You're right, 21. Now, see, this look is, he looks normal, you know? Jack, Trump, or Rev? What? I mean, What do you consider daddy behavior? I consider daddy behavior letting your woman be free to do what she wants and giving her orgasms. That's daddy to me. This guy, he's like Diddy. You know what I mean? Like, he wants to just have power. Oh, look, we have a mention of an asshole that stole my shit. You're banned from this channel. If anybody mentions BGTV to the mods, block them. Oh, okay. I get you. Unsolicited pizza. You like BGTV, Caitlin? Then why are you here? Caitlin, why are you here? Now I'm talking to you, actually. Why would you be here if you like BGTV? Could you answer me that in the chat real quick? Why are you here? All that he does is slander content of me and my girl. Go watch him. He's got a nice sexy voice too, right? We're gonna make fun of people all day because it's funny. Yeah, I've seen all of those fraudulent Tento shirts, 21. Yeah. They do this to me because they can, because I'm poor, and I can't get an attorney to sue all their piece of shit asses. You like everyone? Why would... No, it makes no sense that you would watch me alone if you like BGTV. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. But whatever. Let's go back to Trump. I'm not going to make this about me or
They're so
Shanny.
honored to be here. They never thought they'd be coming to... Look, this is a very tough part of the world. They never thought, they were just telling me, they never thought they'd ever be coming to the White House, and they're so honored. And so we're going to give them a great big reception. But that's after many years of fighting. It's a great thing. That's at 3 o'clock, I believe.
Sir, are you concerned at all about secret nuclear sites in Iran? You talked about maybe just...
Hey, whoever 21's best friend is over on Discord, could you please accept their friend request? Thank you.
Secret nuclear site?
Yes, there might be some of
Not
those
really. Can I tell you? They're exhausted. And Israel's exhausted too. And I dealt with both of them. And they both wanted it settled, both of them. And we did a great job, but they're exhausted. The last thing they're thinking about right now is nuclear. You know what they're thinking of? They're thinking about tomorrow, trying to live. It's such a mess.
No problem,
It's such a
21.
mess. The place was bombed to hell. And no, I'm not worried about it at all. And I'm putting out a little statement. I'm going to respond to the Ayatollah's statement yesterday that we won the war. Oh, God, we won the war. And I said, look, you're a man of great faith, a man who's highly respected in his country. You have to tell the truth. You got beat to hell. And Israel was beat up too. They were both beat up. And it was a great time to end it. It was quick. They got the hate out. There was a lot of hate. A lot of hate. It would be great if they didn't have that hate. But the last thing they're thinking about is nuclear weapons right now. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Iris Howe with NTD Research Media with the Epoch Times. Thank you
Good.
so much for doing this. It's
Good.
very refreshing for all of us here,
It's a good
I believe,
group.
in this room.
It's refreshing.
Very refreshing. Yes, we have to have
Probably.
this in, for the
I understand what you mean.
Oh, Trumpy loves his hug box. Yeah, everybody loves a hug box, though. Who the fuck wants to go on live streams and have morons talking about people stealing your content? Literally stealing stuff that you wrote like 20 years ago. Trying to steal it from you. Like, who wants to deal with that? I would much rather have a room full of mods and people that I like than bullshit of assholes, you know? I agree.
So thank you so much for coming out here.
Other
to
than
talk to us.
Caroline's done a great job.
Yes, sure.
You're referring to the past administration,
Yes,
not to
yes.
Caroline, right?
Yes. Back to the ruling today, if you don't
It's
mind.
my hair,
So
I
you have always
swear.
talked about winning for the American people.
Right.
How do you think today's ruling will enable you to further deliver for American families and workers across the country, not only when it comes to immigration, but also when it comes to trade, energy? What actions are you most eager to move forward
Well, I
with
think
now?
taking power away from these absolutely crazy radical left judges is a tremendous... This is such a big day. This is such...
But you have to respect the courts, Don. We have a tricameral system of government for checks and balances. What does that mean? You can't be a one dictator president. You can't do that. It's against the Constitution. So just because you don't like the rulings of some judges, and they may even be activist judges, which is not right, let me put that in there too. Activist judge activity is not something that's okay in the Constitution either. They're supposed to follow the Constitution and case law. Okay, case precedent law. That's how they're supposed to rule. Constitution and precedent. There have been liberal judges that have absolutely made like activist rulings. That's true, you know.
Such a big day. It's like, it's sort of sad because we're doing the signing of our income, and we shouldn't be paying a rate like that. In other words, when we pay a rate, I'll tell you, each point is the equivalent of $300 billion. So if we had it down 3 points, because I think we should be at 1, you have Switzerland is at 0.25. In other words, 25% of 1%. And they're the number 1 right now. But we should be the number 1. And soon you're going to have, I believe,
No way I'm
you're going to have
chopping
where
my
the
ear off.
people will pay
Zero
the
chance.
will pay like we had a few years ago, where you put up money, you loan money, and I mean you actually instead of paying, you get paid. I love that. I don't know if it's any good, but I love when you put up
getting
money
paid.
and you get paid. But we should be in a category, so we should be at the top.
You want to know what an executive order is, S. Parker? It's an emergency action. If there's a certain type of emergency in the country that requires something to happen fast, the president can write an executive order. This guy would rule totally by executive order, which is unconstitutional.
Top of the list, not toward the bottom of the list. But we have a man who's not a smart man, and he probably has Trump derangement syndrome. And he's just not a smart person. What he's doing, though, is hurting us for years to come. Because if we borrow money at 2 points higher than we should be paying, that's 600.
Oh, Trumpy, you're so daddy. You're so daddy done, you know? How couldn't every female in the world be super fucking wet for you? I don't understand it. You're so fucking hot. Your power.
$1 billion. Wouldn't you say those numbers are about right, Scott? So it's 2 points would be about 600, actually more than that, but about $600 billion, all because the guy doesn't want to lower the rates. He is doing the service, a very disservice. And then he goes up and talks about, I'd like to see costs come down. You know, he gets up and he does his little thing for 5 minutes, and he goes out and he goes back to the beach. He goes, I'd like to see costs come down. Well, he could lower the interest cost by $900 billion a year. All he has to do is lower rates. And everybody's saying, I was watching some of the business shows today, and they're saying, you know, Trump's right. He should really be cutting the country.
Oh my God. Okay, Maya. Now you bring that up. If I chopped it to like here and then like dyed it pink, yeah, fucking Kurt Cobain 92. That's a cool look. But I like this. I like it super long, and Shanny likes it super long too. So you wanted me to do blonde again? Yeah, that my work, the people at my work actually said I thought you were really hot and cute with with blonde hair. Why did I leave MAGA? And what am I now, Jack Lamort? That's a good question. The reason I left MAGA is because their views became so insane and I think dumb that I can no longer identify with the movement. MAGA in 2016 meant change the swamp government because it's dog shit. I was totally with that. And Alex Jones signed on with him and said this guy's for real, and that was it. I was on board. He is the swamp. Trump is the swamp. MAGA are just, I don't even know what to call that movement, whatever it is. It's like QAnon now. I was never QAnon. But I was MAGA. What am I now? I'm a progressive. I would most identify with Cenk Uygur. Like, I think he would make a great president, Cenk Uygur from TYT. That's the video I can cover for you. Enough of the orange Hitler. We are going to this TYT video. Let me see. I'll put in TYT. Does my family matter? Here we go. Yeah, this is it. Thank you, Jesus. This literally made me weep when I saw this. And I'm pretty sure it'll make you weep too.
Muslim lives matter. I'm so sick of our lives not mattering. And American
They
media,
do, Cenk.
you are guilty. You're the ones who got the whole country, my whole life, to hate me, to hate my Muslim family, to hate all Muslims across the world. You're the sick sons of bitches that called us terrorists. Does my life matter? Does my life matter? Does my family's life matter?
So Konstantin Kisin today referred to me as woke after I talked about the difficulty in engaging in polite conversation and debate with a man who has a smirk on his face as I talk about the slaughter of innocent people in Gaza. And that man was Conricus. I forget his first name, don't care about his first name, but unfortunately I had the displeasure of having to debate him on Piers Morgan's show. Jonathan Conricus. Okay. So how is that woke? He quote tweets that. I say polite debates with men who smirk as I bring.
For Jack Lamort here, all right? Here we go, all right? Give me a second. I'm so happy 'cause today I found my friends. They're in my head. I need some lithium, okay? Put me on lithium, because then I'm dead. My personality's pretty much dead too, but it's better because you just have peace, you know? Where do you think you're going? You're the content. Well, see, here's the thing. I want people to really see this and hear it and pay attention. I don't want the distraction of me, some fucking 40-year-old or 41-year-old guy with cat ears on. You know? You love the ears? Hope, thank you. Oh, Scientist Sam, hello. You should get back to the debating. Nah, it's not my thing, Sam. It never was. Shanny brought me into that G+ shit. That was not me. I was doing pre-recorded videos on Bible prophecy, and I got up to like 21,000 subs or whatever. I paid no attention to comments. I paid no attention to debates or any of that shit. That's who I was, but that changed, didn't it?
Bring up the slaughter of innocents is nonsensical. He says woke is so back, baby.
Yeah, no, and of course, being anti-genocide is woke. Like, the non-woke position is genocide and Holocaust are awesome, which I'm sure Konstantin Kisin agrees with, because he just said it. He just said that being against the genocide is woke. So he's so not woke, he probably loves genocides and Holocaust.
So let me understand something. If...
Caitlin, I would have to learn a lot more to become an instructor, but yeah, I could maybe get into personal training for yoga. I know some pretty crazy moves that'll help people. I know that, but I would have to learn a lot more in order to be like an instructor. You know what I mean?
I decided to quote tweet him on October 7th when Hamas slaughtered innocents in Israel and claimed that his complaints about that was woke. Would that be okay? Of course it wouldn't be okay, right?
No, that's against Israel.
80s aerobic session with Rev. I'd be for that, mukbang police. You know, I could do that whole look of what's her name? I don't know, the chick that always wore the headband with the sweatbands and stuff, and we'll go, Jane Fonda. I'll do Jane Fonda style workout videos with shitty 80s music behind it. That'd be crazy.
So you better watch yourself.
Because innocent people,
exactly,
civilians, should be and must be protected. I look at Israeli civilians as human beings, and when they are targeted the way Hamas targeted them on October 7th, it's freaking disgusting. Anyone justifying it should absolutely be condemned. But for some reason, the humanity of the Palestinian people doesn't matter at all. They just openly mock the idea that anyone would be upset at the slaughter of innocent people. Okay, I see who you are, Konstantin. I see who you are.
Yeah,
wow.
We think Israeli civilians and Palestinian civilians are the same. They're both.
Yeah, Suzanne Summers, I guess. But I thought Jane Fonda, because I know she does that type of shit too, you know.
Both human beings and their lives should be protected. They don't believe that. They think Palestinian civilians are to be murdered by the IDF under the guise of self-defense. Oh, I had to murder 17,000 children because Hamas made me do it. And
let's talk about it. We're protecting Eretz Yisrael, the mainland of Israel. Yeah, that's what you're doing, BB. You're protecting. You have a military that's almost like America, and you're civilians, because they're your people in Gaza and West Bank. You think it's okay to drop almost bunker buster bombs on civilians. You've killed 15,000 children. Can you explain to me how that's good for Israel? That you've slaughtered your own babies?
I was defending myself against 3-year-olds and 5-year-olds. And by the way, that's why 100 American doctors came back from Gaza and said, wow, we saw an extraordinary number of headshots on children as young as 3 and 5.
Excuse me. Oh, Benjamin Netanyahu, he has to protect his people from the 3-year-old terrorists. So we're going to have sniper videos blowing off kids' heads. That's the idea for you? What?
Snipers shooting children in the head because of self-defense. But to people like Constantine, Palestinian lives, Iranian lives, etc., they're nothing. Because they're inferior to the Israelis.
Listen, I know.
Okay, no, that's a funny comment, Beardo. Von Beardo. Rev, I'm hoping you write the follow-up to Tento. Call it 11-Toe Saga. That is phenomenal. That's fucking fantastic. Now, see, that could happen. Do you know how that could happen? If I sold Tento to, say, like Lloyd Kaufman, and Lloyd Kaufman took that and made it into a comedy sci-fi, then you could get the 11th Toe Saga. Okay? Lloyd Kaufman, you want to buy my shit? I got a big universe that you could take and make some crazy trauma shit out of it. $1 million. I'm asking $1 million plus 10% of any proceeds that comes from anything that's the source material. And it's yours. Okay? That's it.
The Israelis are superior to all of us. So how dare we complain when our superiors are in the room?
Ew.
I know it's really difficult.
21. Ew. If Netanyahu offered you head, would you accept? There's 0 chance, 21. Okay? That's a 0. I would say, Mr. Netanyahu, I respectfully decline your offer for head. Okay? Somebody, Maya would? Who wouldn't accept that offer if it's not for the... Okay, for the story? Okay. You know someone who knows Kaufman and trauma? Yeah, we do. We do. Marquis knows Lloyd. I would hey, if he'd be interested in having new source material, it's an original story, Lloyd. You know, I wrote all of it. The last screenplay was a collaboration between me and AI. The last screenplay, but I have 2 screenplays written already. That I wrote that are pretty fucking good. I'm glad you call Benjamin Netanyahu and BB. BB makes him seem like he's your neighbor. That's true, Jack. I'd say BB too, you know.
For the Israeli government and the defenders of the current IDF to hear about what they really are, to hear the truth about who they really are. They're genociders. They revel in the slaughter of innocent people, including...
No, 21, that's interesting. You know why? That you say that? Because Draven claim this stuff, but it's not true. Lloyd was in the room on Shanny's stream, and Maya had him right next to her. Or sorry, not Maya. Sorry, Marquis had Lloyd right next to her, and they were watching our stream. And she asked him about Draven. He said, "I don't know anybody named Draven." So, if he was in a movie, it's just that he was in a movie, and he happened to be in a movie. But he didn't really. He's not friends with Lloyd Kaufman. That's a lie.
Children. They're literally shooting and killing Palestinians, including kids, as they're trying to get aid at these humanitarian...
Yeah, S. Parker is banned. Just because I used AI on my work does not make it open source. You're a liar. I own a copyright for it from the year 2004, actually. So if you want Tento to be open source, it will be open source in the year 2074. I'll be right back. I have something to attend to, so watch Anna.
Aid hubs in Gaza. And then they turn around and say, oh, that's just Hamas propaganda, except investigations show that the bullets and weapons are consistent with the weapons that the IDF has. In fact, CNN did one of those investigations.
Of course, the IDF is a bunch of murderers.
Dozens
The reason
of
they're
kids.
running, I'm sorry, hold on.
Daily.
The reason they're running the food centers and they stopped the UN from running them is so they could murder more Palestinians coming to the food centers. This is exactly what they did in the genocide in Srebrenica. In that case, it wasn't Israel, it was the Serbs. They would set up food, they would starve the population and then set up food centers so when the civilians showed up, they would get to shoot them easier. And you know what the Israeli excuse is for murdering people at the food centers? Well, they got close to the Israeli troops. That's because the Israeli troops killed everyone who was distributing food outside of them. And they're like, come here, little Palestinians. That's it, mow them down and slaughter them. But we're the moral army doing self-defense. No, you're doing a goddamn genocide. And it doesn't make you superior. It definitely doesn't do that. And I know you don't care about civilians if they're not Israeli civilians. That's why you're monsters. Total monsters.
It's amazing how openly they like mock and laugh at the slaughter of innocent people. But okay, Constantine.
When you laugh at a genocide, you are by definition a monster. So don't tell me about any of this crap. And I don't want to hear about anything else anymore about how Israel's the victim. Israel is not within a billion miles of being a victim. They are, since 1948, they have attacked all of their neighbors and taken more and more land. That is an absolute certain fact. But they lie to you and they go, oh no, it was the terrorists. That they made us take their land. They made us take Gaza. They made us take a huge chunk of the West Bank. They made us go into southern Lebanon. They made us go into western Syria. They made us attack Iran. They didn't make you do any of that. You're an aggressive imperial empire, slaughtering people, committing genocide, so you can have more land. And you can easily do that because you've manipulated all of our politicians. You bought them through AIPAC. And no, I don't care what you say. You definitely bought them. That's exactly what AIPAC did. And anyone who's a fool enough to tell you, no, AIPAC gave out hundreds of millions of dollars, but it didn't affect our politicians. You would have to be a moron of the highest order to say that. You'd have to be the dumbest person in the whole planet to say our crook politicians took hundreds of millions of dollars from AIPAC, but it didn't affect them? Come on, who could be that stupid? Oh, I know, every single mainstream media reporter in America. Every single one of them lies to you on purpose and says, no, AIPAC doesn't have any influence. AIPAC, oh, don't say it, anti-Semite. No, you guys are anti-Palestinian, anti-Muslim racists and bigots. You don't care about Muslim lives. You don't care about Muslim lives at all. So when Palestinians are slaughtered, what is it gonna take, 18,000 kids? 180,000 kids? You don't care about them at all. Whenever Israel slaughters, you go, terrorists, they had it coming. And you did their propaganda for 2 years later, self-defense, they declared in their cabinet that they're taking all of Gaza. It was always about the land. Does anybody on CNN or MSNBC or Fox News say that? No, they never say it. They lie to you on purpose to help Israel steal more land in the Middle East. And they claim it's self-defense. Self-defense, my ass. It's a goddamn genocide. And yes, Muslim lives matter. We're also human beings. The only human beings on this planet aren't Israelis. They're not some special benighted superhumans. Oh my God, if they die, we all have to say, oh, we bow down to you. But if Muslims die, right? That's what American media does. That's what American politicians do. I'm so sick of our lives not mattering. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of everyone has to grovel to Israel. But the minute you ask someone, can you be a decent human being and care about the Palestinians? They go, anti-Semite. No, F you. You're the one who hates Muslims. And American media, you are guilty. You're the ones who got the whole country, my whole life, to hate me, to hate my Muslim family, to hate all Muslims across the world. You're the sick sons of bitches that called us terrorists. When it was Israel attacking, when it was Israel taking land, kill 1,000 times the civilians. Doesn't count. What does the American media say in their infinite racism? They say it's always the Muslims' fault. It's always the Palestinians' fault. They say stupid crap.
Something really weird just happened, guys, and I gotta go.
No, the Palestinians can't govern themselves. They're violent.
I gotta go, guys, sorry. Peace out.